Esiet sveicināti raidījuma ciklā Uzzini, pirms dodies, droša darba ceļvedis Eiropā. Mani sauc Andris Segviņš, esmu Nodarbinātības valsts aģentūras Eiropas darba konsultants un šī raidījuma cikla vadītājs. Raidījumā mēs apskatām jautājumus, kur ir būtiski pirms došanās uz ārvalstīm, tādas kā darba tirgus situācija un darba meklēšana Eiropas valstīs, reģistrācijas procedūras ierodoties valstīs, darba līguma noslēgšana un cits praktisks jautājums. Katrs raidījums ir veltīts noteiktai valstī, un šodien mēs runāsim par Igauniju. Uz raidījumu ir aicināta Igaunijas nodarbinātības dienesta Eures konsultante Jāne Gorniše. Hello, Jāne.
Hello.
I would like to start our conversation with a general overview of the labor market in Estonia. And can you tell us about the current trends of the labor market, such as the sectors that are developing and employees that are in demand, and maybe also which sectors have a surplus and what are the shortages?
The registered unemployment rate in Estonia in December was 8%, and it is showing an upward trend, unfortunately, compared to last year. The unemployment rate is highest in the northeast part of the country and also in Valga County. When we look at our labor demand parameter, then we have a large labor shortage of healthcare assistants, nursing professionals, special needs teachers, but also a shortage of agricultural and industrial machinery mechanics, electricians, bus and tram drivers, livestock farm laborers, sheet metal workers, also IT professionals like applications programmers, software developers, and also teachers from early childhood to secondary and vocational education. But this is not a full list. So if you're interested to view this list in more detail, you can visit the Estonian Unemployment Insurance Fund's website. And we update this information twice a year in April and in October. So in few months, we should receive our newest data. And we have noticed that the employment rates have started to show a decline, for example, in manufacturing and in construction. And at the moment also the number of vacant positions is declining, unfortunately.
But if we talk further about job opportunities, if someone is interested in Estonia, then where and how can someone look for a job, and what are job search resources available in Estonia?
When you would like to find a job in Estonia, I would say that the best way to start with your job search is to visit the job offers section on workinestonia.com website. This website allows you to find English-speaking job offers in Estonia. And it is also good to know that this website imports job offers from our job portals cv.ee and cvkeskus.ee, which are the two biggest local job boards in Estonia. So if you visit this workinestonia.com website, you have this very good overview of English-speaking jobs in Estonia. But also, of course, social media is very important source. We advise you to follow the companies you're interested in on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. This way you may find information that isn't published anywhere else. And there are also many expat groups on Facebook you may consider joining, like expat jobs in Tallinn, expats in Tallinn, in Estonia, and many others. Then also the recruitment agencies, for example, Manpower, they are also official partners of EURES Estonia, and they will be glad to assist you with your job search. Then also company career pages are also important source of information. Be not afraid of sending out speculative applications. It is a very common practice in Estonia. And of course, European Job Mobility Portal, EURES portal, and the website of Estonian Public Employment Services. These are also useful job search channels. And at the same time, they also provide a lot of useful information about living and working in Estonia in general. And maybe it will be useful to just point out that when Estonian employers are interested in recruiting from Latvia, we will send information about available positions to EURES Latvia. So it is always worth checking out your local EURES advisor if they have received any job offers from Estonia. And as far as I know, these vacancies are also published on Latvian Public Employment Services website. And in Estonia, most of the job offers are published in Estonian language, in some cases also in Russian or English. So just have to bear in mind that to apply for the jobs, mostly Estonian, Russian, or English skills are required.
Yes, thank you for wide information. We see that there are many ways and many resources for job search in Estonia. And we will put also your mention at the websites in our chat box to make available to our viewers. And yes, you already touched about this language requirement. And if we are looking for a job in another country, of course, knowledge of foreign languages become important. But generally, how important is knowledge of Estonian language in job search and what other, maybe you already mentioned the Russian language and also English, how important is this other languages for successful job search?
Well, mainly when applying for jobs, maybe the Russian language is the most common besides Estonian. But for example, if our employers are publishing the vacancies and when they are also interested in international recruitment, in general, mostly also applications in Russian or English are also welcome.
Yes, thank you. And once a suitable job offer is found, the next step is to apply for a job. And what is the common practice of applying for a job in Estonia? Should a job candidate send it by email, or maybe is it better to visit a company in person? What is a common practice in Estonia?
In Estonia, it is most common to apply for a job through an online job database. It is advisable to use an electronic application and this should be short and specific. After sending your CV and cover letter, sometimes also motivational letter, an invitation to a face-to-face interview for the selected candidates usually follows. So mostly the application is via online databases.
Yes, and now a little bit deeper about CV preparation. A well-prepared CV is important in the job search process. What are your recommendations for preparing CV for a job search in Estonia? And is it application or motivation usually required to be attached to the CV? And how important maybe also are references from previous employers?
Well, to apply for a job, the most important documents you generally will need is a CV and a covering letter. Well, like in many countries, your CV should be no longer than 2 A4 pages, and it should include following details about your name and contact information, your telephone number with a country code. Make sure that the email address is businesslike and correct. Then also work experience is a very important part of the CV. You should start from the latest work experience. Then also education skills, your language skills, and then other skills like computer skills, driving license, and other. And in general, you do not need to attach diplomas and certificates unless it is requested in the vacancy. You may also add references, but this is not obligatory. But if you have, this might increase your chances of successful application. Then usually there are questions about adding a photo. In Estonia, it is not compulsory. Around half of applications in Estonia include a photo on the CV. If you want to add the photo, it is suggested to be a formal business photo. You may think about what impression you would like to make on your employer. And then, of course, another important document which is very often needed is the covering letter. And it should point out answers to questions like what are your goals in the new position, 3 to 5 positive traits you can highlight for your future employer, how you think your previous work experience, how it's linked to the job offer, why would you like to work for this company, and why are you the best candidate for this role. So these questions should be answered in the covering letter.
Yes, and one additional question, is Europa's format CV used in Estonia? How popular is it?
Yes, you may use it. It is a very nice format, and we quite often recommend it to our job seekers. But maybe it's not so common in Estonia, so you may use it. It has all the necessary information your employer needs, but maybe some other formats are more common in Estonia. If you visit the job search portals. I mentioned before this CV.ee and CV-keskus.ee. From there you can find also these CV templates you can use for your application documents in Estonia.
Thank you. And if the job application is successful and the employer accepts the candidacy, then the next step is to travel to Estonia to start employment. And what registration procedures will be required on arrival in Estonia?
When coming to work in Estonia, the registration procedures, they are quite simple. The keywords for you are the ID code, registering your place of residence, and ID card. So if you want to work in Estonia for more than 3 months, you must register your address in the population register of Estonia no later than during the first 3 months of your stay. And you can do this in person at the nearest local government service office of your new place of residence. And at the same appointment, at the same time, you can apply for Estonian ID code that is used for identification, and it is also required by the employer for registering your employment in the employment registry in Estonia, and it will allow you to access Estonia's social services. So, and after registering your address and obtaining ID code, then within 1 month, you must apply in person to the police and border guard for an Estonian ID card, which certifies and proves your right of residence in Estonia, and it also gives you the access to these well-known Estonian e-services. But if you're planning to stay for a shorter period than 3 months, you do not need to register your address, but still you will need Estonian ID code, which is required for registering your employment. So these are the most important steps you need to take when you come to Estonia and want to stay here officially.
Good to hear that registration procedures are simple because it's always not very easy to go to different foreign institutions and do a lot of registrations. When starting employment, what working conditions are included in the employment contract?
Mm-hmm. When we talk about the employment contract, then maybe the first thing to mention is that in Estonia, the employment contract must be in written form in 2 original copies before starting work. It must be signed by hand or digitally, only for employments lasting less than 2 weeks. The written employment contract is not required, but still, however, it is advisable to use the written form even then, because in order to avoid any misunderstandings or disputes later on, there are unspecified term or fixed term work contracts. The probationary period is usually 4 months, but it may be agreed that the period shall not apply or shall be shortened. The standard working hours in Estonia are 8 hours per day or 40 hours per week. In case of overtime work, it must be agreed before, and it is compensated by providing paid free time or monetary compensation. And the total working time, including overtime, it may not exceed an average of 48 hours per week over a 4-month recording period. As of January this year, the minimum hourly wage in Estonia is 4.86 euros, and monthly minimum wage for full-time employment is 820 euros. This is the gross salary. And the latest data I could access at the moment is from the third quarter of last year. And then the average monthly gross wage was 820 euros. And the median wage was 1,500 euros. The salary is paid at least once a month on the agreed day into a bank account, and the payday must be notified to the employee in writing, and also this day must be included in the employment contract. And about the holidays, the duration of the annual holiday is at least 28 calendar days per year. It may be agreed a longer annual holiday, but not a shorter one.
Thank you. And we see that we have similarities with the Latvian labor conditions, but we see also some differences for some conditions in a labor contract. When going to another country for work, finding housing is also an important issue. What is your recommendations? How and where to search for accommodation?
Maybe it is a little bit different from another countries, bigger cities. But first, I would say that finding an apartment for rent in Estonia is relatively easy. It may be not so difficult as in some big cities, in Europe. But in Estonia, if you would like to find an apartment for rent, then the most convenient way is to use online property portals. Then, of course, real estate agents are another great opportunity when looking for an apartment because they often have access to properties that may be not available on these online portals. Then also again Facebook groups. Many landlords put their listings on Facebook. And maybe just some suggestions we would give to you is that when you are looking for an apartment, always ask to see the apartment in person before you transfer any money or sign a contract. Then also ask if you will be able to register this apartment as your place of residence in Estonia. When you're about to sign the contract, then it is good to know that the rental contracts are usually signed for at least a year and always in written form. You will be most likely asked to pay up front the first month's rent, then also a security deposit. And if you're using the services of a real estate agency, then also the broker's fee. And yes, if you would like to bring pets or do some refurbishment works in the apartment, you always have to agree this beforehand with your landlord and check if the pets are allowed or if you're allowed to do some renovations in the apartment.
Yes, very good to know this practical suggestions from you. It's very, very useful. Could you also give some examples of cost of living? Practical, maybe some things and.
Maybe while we were talking about accommodation, then I would just give you an example of the monthly rent. For example, one bedroom plus living room apartment in Tallinn, the capital. It might be from 350 euros to 600 euros or even more. And just to add some comparison between the cities in Estonia, then the same apartment, for example, in Valga, it is 150 to 200 euros per month. So you can see the differences between the cities. But the more general costs, maybe, for example, 1 liter of milk, it will cost around €1.30. Bread from 1 to 2 euros, 10 eggs 2 to 3 euros, 4 to 5 euros when they are organic. Cheese 500 grams 4 to 6 euros, cinema ticket 10 euros, and maybe just an example, for example, one main course in Tallinn Old Town without the starter and dessert, it might be 20 to 30 euros. So the prices are not very cheap, as you can see. But a positive thing is that, for example, when you are registered resident in our capital, Tallinn, you have access to free public transport. So a positive note also.
Nice bonus. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, but the prices are quite high.
But we see that prices for products is more or less similar to the Latvian situation. And of course, always regarding this accommodation costs, it depends on where are you looking for. In the bigger cities, it's always higher than in smaller cities. The situation is the same. Thank you. And at the end of our conversation, I would like to ask a question: why to choose Estonia as a destination country?
Well, we have many positive aspects. At first, of course, we are neighbors and we are so close. When coming to work in Estonia, It is not a really big culture shock, I hope, but maybe just to point out that Estonia is known as e-Estonia or paperless society. So almost all our everyday tasks are carried out digitally. 99% of our state services are online. For example, it takes only 3 minutes to file the tax declaration online. So the state services and everyday life in general is very smooth and efficient. You can also reach your professional goals quickly with almost no organizational hierarchy limits. So it's not unusual for young people to lead teams or even companies. English is widely spoken. Our nature and wildlife, it is very easy to find a park or nature trail or a forest nearby to go camping, hiking. And of course, the crime rates are low. So if you are thinking about relocating with your family, Estonia is a great place to live and work.
Yes, I agree that Estonia as a neighboring country is much better known, and working culture is also similar to Latvia. It's maybe easier to integrate. And thank you for nice words about Estonia and our conversation and useful information. I will say thank you, Jāne, for our conversation. Paldies arī mūsu skatītājiem, kur bija pievienojušies šodienas raidījumam. Un noslēgumā vēl gribu minēt to, ka, ja ir nepieciešama kāda papildus informācija par Eiropas valstīm un darbu citās Eiropas valstīs, par sociālās drošības jautājumiem, dodoties uz ārvalstīm vai atgriežoties no ārvalstīm, par starpvalstu nodokļu jautājumiem, tad noteikti informācija varat meklēt mūsu Nodarbinātības valsts aģentūras mājaslapas EURES sadaļā, vai arī kontaktēties ar Nodarbinātības valsts aģentūras EURES konsultantiem. Vēlreiz paldies visiem, kas pievienojās, un uz tikšanos nākošos raidījumos.